What if the hardest thing you are going through right now is not a punishment? What if it is not a mistake? What if God did not forget about you? What if this is a test, and what if passing it is about to change everything? Stay with me, because what I am about to share is going to completely shift the way you see your situation today. We have all been there. You prayed, you believed, you stood on the word, you did everything right. And still, the job didn't come through, the relationship broke, the money didn't show up, the doors stayed closed, and in that silence, a question creeps in. God, where are you? But here is what the Bible wants you to understand today. Silence is not absence, delay is not denial, and difficulty is not the end of your story. It is the middle of it. James 1 verses 2-4 says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." Read that carefully. The testing of your faith produces something. It is not wasted. It is not random. It is producing perseverance in you. Character that cannot be built any other way. Think about Abraham. God had already promised him a son. Isaac was born. The promise was fulfilled. Abraham had waited years for this moment. And then God said, "Take your son, your only son, the one you love, and offer him as a sacrifice." Genesis 22 verse 1 says, God tested Abraham, not punished him, not abandoned him, tested him. And Abraham got up early the next morning. He didn't argue. He didn't negotiate. He didn't give God a list of reasons why this didn't make sense. He just obeyed. He trusted God so completely that he was willing to give back the very thing God had given him. That is faith. Not faith when it is comfortable. Not faith when it makes sense. Faith when everything in you wants to turn around, and you keep walking anyway. And at the very last moment, God stopped him. Genesis 22 verse 12. "Now I know that you fear God, because you have not withheld from me your son, your only son. Now I know." God was not testing Abraham because he didn't know the answer. He was testing Abraham so that Abraham would know, so that Abraham would discover the depth of his own faith. The test was never about Isaac. It was about who Abraham truly believed God to be. And that is exactly what your test is about today. Not the job, not the money, not the relationship, not the diagnosis. It is about who you believe God to be, when you cannot see what he is doing. 1 Peter 1 verse 7 says, "These trials have come, so that your faith, of greater worth than gold, which perishes even though refined by fire, may be proved genuine." Greater worth than gold. God is not trying to break you, he is refining you. Like gold that goes into fire. Not to be destroyed, but to come out pure, stronger, more valuable than it was before it entered the flame. So how do you pass the test? 3 things. First, keep worshiping. When Abraham got to the mountain, he told his servants, "We will go and worship, and then we will come back." He worshipped in the middle of the test, not after it. Not when it was over. In the middle of it. Worship is not a feeling. It is a declaration that God is still God, even when life doesn't feel like. Second, keep obeying. Abraham rose early. He moved. He didn't wait until he understood. He obeyed first. And the understanding came later. Obedience in the middle of a test is the loudest statement of faith you can make. Third, keep trusting the character of God. Abraham called the place Jehovah Jireh. The Lord will provide. Not, the Lord provided. Will provide. Future tense. Because even before he saw the ram, he already trusted that God would come through. That is the faith God is building in you right now. The kind that trusts him before the answer arrives. So wherever you are today, if the waiting is long, you are being refined. If the silence is heavy, he has not forgotten you. If the road is hard, you are not lost. You are being tested. And tests, by definition, always come to an end. James 1 verse 12 says, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial. Because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." The crown is coming. Hold on. This is ancient wisdom, where we grow in God, even through the fire. one day at a time. If this encouraged you today, share it with someone who is in the middle of their test right now. They need to hear this.